What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the REFSIX weekly podcast. Today, it's just me and Rimon today because Hassan's away, which isn't an issue. So, Rimon, how are you getting on?
I'm fine.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Have you been refereeing recently or been on the
No,
sideline?
I don't. No, I don't have games anymore. The season in Denmark is slowly ending for
Yeah.
grassroots. So no, it's too cold to referee
Yeah,
right now.
yeah. I can assure you on that. I've got 7 games this month. So it's as yours winds down, it seems like ours speeds up.
Yeah.
But we've got plenty to talk about today in terms of red cards, and we're going to put a topic and a theme to them. It seemed in the Premier League this weekend. So obviously the first one, which is probably the most talked about, was the is it Ezri Konsa DOGSO. So did you see that game?
Yeah, I saw the game Aston Villa against West Ham, right?
Yeah,
It's kind of special one because, in my opinion, it was a DOGSO.
yeah,
I know the coach was out and saying the manager was out and saying it wasn't, and he wasn't going the direction of the goal. But looking at the replays, in my opinion, he was going the direction of the goal. He was alone, and we need to identify some keys about what is a DOGSO. And for me, this was definitely a DOGSO. But there was an incident just before that
yeah.
with Van Aals, I think, where he got an arm in his face, which I thought this was going to definitely be seen by the referee in the VAR, right, in the VAR room. And if that was an incident before the DOGSO one, then they will take the DOGSO back and giving a red card maybe or something to, I don't know his name, the Aston Villa player. But I don't know. What do you think about it?
I think it's interesting. I think so. For people that don't know, basically West Ham were on the break. There was a challenge that went in. The referee played an advantage, and then Ezri Konsa brought down. It might be Antonio, and it was adjudged to be a red card. My interpretation of it was he should have
Maybe, yeah.
stopped. Yeah, he should have stopped for the first free kick. Playing advantage is always risky. We know that, but in this instance, it's worked because it's a DOGSO and one person's been sent off, and obviously West Ham go on to win the game 4-1. So tick box is there. The advantage has worked. But in my opinion, I don't think the DOGSO is a DOGSO just because I think he's moving away from goal. I think that's the main thing for me in terms of it looks like he's going away from goal. But then can we take that into a fact? I'm sitting on the fence. I'm doing a Hassan and sitting on the fence. However, I do think the challenge beforehand should be a red card for violent conduct or serious foul play because he has sort of used his elbow as not a weapon, but as a force, and he's pushed it through and up. And I do think that makes a massive impact in the game. And, sending 2 people off in the same move is quite risky. I don't know if you've ever done that before.
No, but wouldn't the DOGSO one be withdrawn, and then there would be a red card for the challenge before and a free kick for West Ham?
I don't think so. I think so. From the research and the people I've spoken to, I'm pretty sure you can send them both off because
Okay.
both instances happened, didn't they? So, as far as
Yeah.
I'm aware, if anyone's listening and can correct us, then please do. But as far as I'm aware, he can send both of them off for the serious. If it was serious foul play or violent, if he declared it violent conduct, then he can send them both off.
Yeah. But interesting. Don't think it was a DOGSO. But yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. We had different opinions, right? Well, yeah.
So then similarly, we'll keep on the West Ham game. There was a challenge in the 79th minute where 2 players, I believe it was Fornells and maybe Kanamba or something, came together, and it looked like the Villa player had come off slightly worse, was rolling around a lot, and I can't think who was the referee, produced the yellow card. I wanted to see what you thought on it because I thought it was borderline being a red. I think because I don't think there was too much ball involved.
Yeah, I think the yellow card was fine. I didn't think it was. It looked really, really bad when the Aston Villa player rolled around like 4 or 5 times. 5 times. But seeing it again, I didn't see it from that many angles. I think I saw it from 2 angles, and the 2 angles I saw it from, it just looked like it was a challenge for a yellow card and a red card. So I'm on the referee's side on this one. I think it was a yellow card, but
Yeah,
on the edge, on the border, as you said, on the border to a red card. So
it's interesting. Like if I put this into a little bit of like devil's advocate, if both players jumped into the ball, would you send them both off? So they're both out of control. Both players jump in and catch each other, don't play the ball. Would you send them both off?
well, depending on the game, I guess, because I wanna probably see if there's been some other serious incidents just before. If I doesn't send them off, will it trigger some more serious incidents in the last minutes? So I think it's a decision I probably will take by looking at how the game has been played. Let's say it was a lot of bad challenges and it just kept on going and going. I probably will send them both off. If we're looking at grassroots in Denmark, it's a good thing where we have a yellow card, right? Where we just give them a yellow card and they both go out for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So in that way, the red cards, I don't give that many red cards because I can use my yellow card to give them 10 minutes. But of course, a red card is a red card when it comes to it. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably send them off if this is something that has been going on for a long time during the game, and I can use my 10 minutes in grassroots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that. Do you find that that 10 minutes massively helps players cool down a lot? Because we have it for sin bins, which so we have it for dissent, which I'm on the fence on when it works. On Sunday League, I think it works really well. I think on the slightly higher standard, it doesn't work so well. But what do you find it works with the tackles and stuff?
I think we mentioned some of it before with the sin bin. So just before the 10 minutes came, before the 10 minutes came, we were giving a lot of yellow cards and it didn't help that much. But I just think it's one of the best things that happened in grassroots that we can give the 10 minutes. And I like we can give 10 minutes for everything in Denmark because I think it definitely helps in my games when I give it a yellow card and they go out for 10 minutes. It helps a lot. They calm down. This 10 minutes. They know that if they come on again, they can go out again for 10 minutes before, let's say, a new player could come in. There's some rules that a new player can come in amateur football. But I definitely think it helps with the tackles. Yeah, it does. I think it's a good thing.
I can imagine it stopping. I know this is a little bit off topic, but I can imagine it stopping in those, we've spoken about those professional fouls or cynical fouls where a player's running in on goal and it just wipes him away. I can imagine it stops quite a lot of them because they know that they're going to be punished for that.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, I think in the beginning, if the players needed to it's a new thing, so they need to get used to the 10 minutes. But afterwards, I think the year after implementing it in Denmark, I think everyone was aware that the 10 minutes will give them the yellow card will give them a 10 minutes penalty. So yeah, I think it's definitely helped with the fouls, better playing. But of course, there would be some games with a high pace where they don't care. But imagine you getting yellow card and going out for 10 minutes and watching for 10 minutes your team having a hard time because you got the yellow card, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, in that way it helped.
Yeah, nice. Well, speaking of high-paced games, we move on to the Man City Palace game. And Laporte was sent off for another DOGSO. As you can tell, the theme this week already is denying an obvious goal-scoring opportunity. So the situation was the ball's come to Zaha. Zaha's knocked it around Laporte. They're probably 5 yards outside the centre circle in City's half, and Zaha's got round Laporte, and Laporte's basically said, "No, you're not coming. You're not getting past. It's either the ball or the man," as the footballers say, and gets the man, pulls him down, and is similarly sent off. Thoughts? Easy red for you?
I think it was spot on. I mean, he knew that Zaha is faster than him. So there was only one way to stop Zaha, and it was a red. Was pulling him down.
Yeah.
So definitely 100%, from my opinion, a DOGSO red card. Yeah.
No, I would agree. I think the only questions, especially at our level, you have to ask yourself are: is it too far out? So, like on grassroots football, the players aren't that good. You probably know Zaha's got a direct shot on goal next. He's quick. So you're making those sort of assumptions. But at grassroots level, is it definitely an obvious goal scoring opportunity? And they're the questions I think you have to ask yourself at grassroots level. But then I think it's a red card. But then similarly, Johnny Evans pulls down Aubameyang and only gets a yellow card. And it's almost identically the same. Aubameyang is maybe quicker, if not just as quick as Zaha.
Probably quicker, yeah.
Yeah, and probably you would say is a striker that has more finish, more poaching ability than Zaha as well, more clinical. So what do we think the reason was there? Because obviously VAR's looked at it. So do you think maybe they're taking distance into account there?
Well, maybe. We don't know, right? So they're the only ones who knows why they didn't give it. They didn't give a red card. So in my opinion, again, it should be it's a DOGSO. If he didn't pull him down, he was 100% free and was hitting the goal, right? So in my opinion, definitely a red card for DOGSO. So I can't tell you why the VAR decided to not to give a Johnny Evans a red card and see it as a DOGSO. I don't know. I'm keen to hear your opinion, because in my opinion, it's quite clear and obvious. DOGSO, red card, he pulled him down. That's it.
So for me, when we talk about DOGSO, there's like a couple of categories. Does Aubameyang have control of the ball? Yes. Is he heading towards goal? Yes. Distance away, is there any covering defenders, are the other two that we need to look at. And for me, I think these are really tough decisions in terms of it can go any way. I personally thought it was a red card, but you can see why they gave a yellow, because they're so far away, and players are, you can't assume that players are going to get there or like this. So there's a long way for Aubameyang to go, from basically the halfway line. So, it's still a long way to go. He could do a lot of things. There could be a lot of things. I don't know where the goalkeeper was in terms of, was he trying to sweep up? Kasper Schmeichel is known to try and sweep up. I think it's, personally, in this instance, a red, but maybe they just thought when they were talking that it's too far out to give a red card. And that would be my only sort of way that they could have thought about that, really. And that's absolutely plausible, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to. I don't know where the line goes, like for it to be a DOGSO, but it could be nice to have it like NFL, where you have the yellow lines to see. Okay, so if he crossed this line, and he's free, it's a DOGSO. It shouldn't be that way, right? But if we're talking about distance, then we need to know where the line goes, or is it just up to the referee to think? Okay, so I'm looking at it and saying, oh, that's long distance to the goal. It's not a DOGSO but he's fast. Nobody would have cast him anyways. So yeah,
it's.
But again, if you have a short distance to the goal and you're free, you still can miss.
Yeah.
So I don't think that would be a good argument for why not giving it as a DOGSO, because it doesn't matter if you have short or long distance to the goal, you still can miss.
Yeah. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? I think the main one is defenders and has he got control is the key one. Maybe they didn't think he had control, but obviously the return of Champions League. Is it the return of Champions League this week? Liverpool did spot on, which was great. How did Man United get on?
Lucky.
Yeah.
Well, as usual.
Yeah. So in the Liverpool game, Felipe got sent off, and there's been a lot of talk on the town, on Twitter, and there hasn't been sort of a real explanation for it. So basically what happened is Felipe fouled Mane was going on a break. It's one of those cynical professional fouls that we talk about quite a lot, and then was issued a straight red card. I don't know. Do you know what's happened, Rimon?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool was attacking from their own half. Mane has the ball, and Felipe comes from behind, and it looks like his right foot kicks Mane from behind, and Mane falls down, right? We've been talking about this kind of stuff a lot of times. Like a yellow card is probably not enough.
Yeah.
We want to have something more, because this is, I mean, they're attacking and you just making a professional foul, but we already know professional foul is a yellow card. So, yeah, I mean, looking at it first time when I saw it, I thought, no, the referee gone crazy. Definitely not a red card. And I mean, he gave him red card right away without looking at the VAR and so on. So, and I wasn't convinced. But looking at it again in slow motion, you definitely see a kick from Felipe and Mane, and intentional. How do you say it? Like an intentional kick, like he on purpose, right?
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, again, it's on the border. I think there can be arguments for a yellow card and a red card, and referee took the red. So, yeah.
See, I have a different theory. So I think if you watch the clip back, there's for anyone watching in England or listening in England, go to the BT highlights, because they show this quite nicely on YouTube. Basically, what happens is he makes the professional foul, and the referee looks calm and collected. Danny Macaulay, I believe, from Holland, was the referee.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to give him the yellow card. And, there's no crowd in, there's no Liverpool fans, are obviously, Liverpool players are a bit around him saying that's got to be a yellow. And I think it is going to be a yellow, but you see the referee call Felipe over, and then Felipe is like, yep, and keeps running backwards. And then the referee calls him again, and he keeps running backwards. So I think he gets more and more frustrated that Felipe's not, doing as he's told, basically, and then issues him technically a second yellow, which is then a red card. But obviously, he's only shown a red card. And I personally think what he's done is he's about to caution him for the tackle, and he's cautioned him for dissent or, failure to do as he's told, basically. So dissent by word or action. And he's just issued a red card just to get it out of the way, rather than putting 2 yellows and then a red up. I think he's just sent him off for 2 yellows, and one was for the tackle. Like I say, it was a cynical foul, but I don't think it was a red. And then I think he's also given him a second yellow for that. But obviously, we can sell that better on the pitch, couldn't we? He could give a quick yellow, and if he doesn't, that sorts everything out. But if he doesn't come to him, in that level, we have sin bins, so he'll go off for 10 minutes. You have sin bins, he'll go off for 10 minutes. But if he doesn't, then at that level, it's straight red. It's a red.
But I mean, giving a straight red will just raise more questions. So I don't understand. I don't get why I just don't show him the first yellow card and the second yellow card, and everybody knows the first one was for the professional tackle. The second one was for unspotting behavior, maybe, because he wasn't coming when he was called for. So, I mean, make it easy for everyone to see what you're doing instead of just giving a red card. So, yeah, I mean, see, now I was confused why he was giving a red card in the beginning, because I think it was for yellow, but maybe on the edge if you see it in slow motion. But yeah, I totally buy the theory. I do. So yeah.
Yeah, it just might be.
I think probably right. Yeah.
It might just be a heat of the moment thing. We all have that as referees, don't we? Where players are annoying you, and instead of doing the right
Just
thing,
give him a red card.
you do the quick thing, don't you? Instead of doing 2 yellows and selling it to everyone, he's just sent him off. You know, maybe it's a little bit hot-headed from him, but that's absolutely fine. I personally think that it's very justified. And I think the commentators on that BT Sport actually came to the same conclusion in terms of this must be what it's for. So they were all, because I don't think anyone really thought it was a red card challenge.
Yeah. We were talking about, I was reading about some article about a referee needs to do a press conference or an interview after the games to explain some of this. That could be amazing to have sometimes, I guess. Yeah. Like you could explain why the red card was given.
Yeah.
That would be fine.
The problem with that, though, is, in all seriousness, is if referees did like interviews, the press would only ever interview them or want to interview them when they've had a bad game or when they've made a mistake. I don't think they'd be like, oh, you gave a cracking advantage that led to a goal today. Talk us through it. They'd be like, oh, you failed to send off Aubameyang or Johnny Evans today. Why? And it would all be very negative rather than positive, I think.
Well, it's the same way it goes for the teams, right? One losing, one winning, or drawing. They need to give an interview anyway. So maybe the referee could give an interview even if they were having a good game or bad game, just to talk about some of the, like if you give a good advantage and it got you a goal, right? Let's talk about that. But anyways, that's
probably... let us know. Let us know in the comments if you're listening what you think. Should referees get interviewed and stuff? It'd be great to hear your thoughts. And now we'll go to the probably most contentious red card of the Champions League week. Ajax were playing Dortmund away at, I think Dortmund were at home. Michael Oliver was in the middle. It's obviously a high-pressure game. Ajax haven't lost yet. Dortmund are chasing their tail a little bit, it seems, in the Champions League. And Matt Hummels goes for a challenge on the halfway line. It appears like he's won the ball, and the Ajax players look to try and chop it round him, and it's hit Hummels' back and has been sent off. Rimon, your thoughts?
Well, I would say it's crazy that the referee, and we all know McLaren is a good referee, so it's crazy that he didn't go out and watching it again on the VAR and the screen. I just want to know what happened. Why? Because in my opinion, it wasn't a red card, not even. I mean, you saw the Ajax player stamping on Hummels' right foot. So maybe it should go the other way around. I know he came with some pace. His legs was a bit higher up. I don't think it was both of them. I think he just managed to pull his left leg back, so he only had the right foot there stretched. He didn't touch the Ajax player. If anything, then the Ajax player was stamping the Hummels. So I definitely 100% don't think that was a red card. The only thing that raised a huge question for me was, why did McLaren not go out to the VAR screen and look at it? I mean, maybe that would have changed his mind, because you would imagine maybe the guy sitting in the VAR room told him, hey, you're 100% right about this. It's definitely a red card. No need to go out and watch it. But why not? When you can do it, it's a red card. I mean, it will have a huge impact on the game. So go out and see why you gave a red card. Was it a red card? Was it a yellow card? Or was it nothing? So, your opinions, your thoughts about this?
My thoughts about this. So I think you're right. I think in terms of Matt Hummels, you look at this as a serious foul play. He's gone into the challenge quick. He has left the floor, but by the time he's reached the Ajax player, he's on the floor. So he's not like he's still in the air when he's tried to make contact. The Ajax players looks like he's chopped it round him, jumped in the air, and then stepped on Hummels. So, if this was me in a game, I'd probably give a free kick. I know this sounds a bit strange, but you give a free kick and be like, look, we're not having challenges like that. Slow it down, calm it down. I get it. We want to win the game, but we don't need to win it like that. And I don't understand. Hassan's usually the king of VAR in terms of why they've made certain decisions. But, you know, on the plus side, there was a photo at the end of the game of Matt Hummels speaking to Michael Oliver, and they looked quite calm. Obviously, Matt Hummels was obviously going to be dejected, and it hasn't been announced if it's been overturned yet. So that'll probably be on next week's pod. But, you know, for me, it's just, you know, give a free kick and be like, look, steady. I know you've not done anything like wrong to get a yellow or red card, but, you know, you can do it for an attempt or attempted trip or just a little bit too aggressive, and just, you know, slow the game down there and use the tools that we've got, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely think you're right. And we had last podcast, we had an incident, Bruno Fernandes, in the Liverpool United game, Liverpool game, where we also had discussion about if it was a serious foul play with Bruno coming in on, I don't remember who the Liverpool player was.
It was Curtis Jones, yeah.
Curtis Jones, yeah. Where we also was looking at the pace, if his foot was high up, and in my opinion, was not a red card, a yellow card. So looking at this one, I definitely will say this wasn't a red card. And again, this was an English referee, and United Liverpool game, of course, it was an English referee. So you would think that the English referees have the same line for when they want to give a red card or yellow card. Of course, you have to follow the law book, right?
Yeah. I think it's different from what we saw at the Euros to what we see in the Premier League. It's a lot of differences. They obviously have a meeting about the Champions League and how they want the referee in the Champions League. So maybe they've been told that this is acceptable and this isn't acceptable in the Champions League, because obviously it's governed by UEFA, whereas obviously the Premier League is governed by the Premier League. And they obviously have different tolerances, it seems, in European competitions compared to sort of the English game. And maybe that's what they've done this week, and said, you know, in the briefing or something, that this is a red card and this isn't. And maybe that's just one of the ones that came up.
Yeah. And again, here it could be nice in an interview afterwards, right? To understand what happened between the referee sitting in the VAR room and Michael Oliver, and what did they discuss, and why didn't he go out? Because it just raises more questions. And it could be that if he made an interview, it could also raise some more questions, right? You never know, but it could be just nice to know what was going on.
Yeah, maybe not an interview, just like a statement from UEFA saying that.
Just a statement.
Like saying that the referee has sent, you know, this player off, Felipe off, for 2 yellow cards, but only issued 1. You know, in future we'll do this. So yeah, just a quick statement from anyone to stop this confusion, because obviously we as the fans don't know, but I'm assuming the managers know what it's for, the referees know what it's for, and UEFA all know what it's for. They would have had to report him within, I don't know, 24 hours of the game. So who knows?
Yeah, we need someone inside UEFA to tell us, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's been the pod this week in terms of, you know, DOGSO. We just need, like, as tips for you guys back home, just make sure you're not judging players on their ability, and, you know, you're looking at, for DOGSO, is, has he got control? How far away? Is there any covering the defenders, and the speed on which they're travelling in, and the direction that they're going in as well? So that's been the podcast today. If you listen to us on podcasts, please give us a subscribe. And if you're watching us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And we've also just come back from Denmark as well. So there's a vlog out now. So give that a watch, and we will catch you hopefully with Hassan back next week. We will see you next week.